Should be going live right now, and we're live. All right, man. So what's up, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs. Here with me is Jack from AlbumArtArchive. We're about to go live, do a live podcast on the ninth episode of Dreadlabs podcast. We're gonna answer all of your questions that you post on Instagram or that you guys want to ask in the live chat. Yeah, that's basically what we're gonna do today here. Jack, welcome to the show, I guess. How you doing, man?
Hi, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, really good, really good. It feels weird because we've been talking like for a while before we started the live show. So
Talking for like 15 minutes, so
yeah,
yeah.
um, yeah, I kind of as like part of the act, like part of the show as a podcast
I
host.
thought we've just met. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
um. Anyways, welcome guys. I can already see Ariaman Munish. You probably Can you see the chat as well? Like, do you have it open?
Yeah, I've got the chat open, yeah.
Yeah, he competed in the Dreadlabs contest, and I think you've been reposting some of his work on your stories as well. Like, he's
Yeah,
really good.
I've spoke to him. I've spoke to him a few times. Yeah, he's got some stuff from my store as well, which is nice.
Nice. Oh, and I see some other people in the chat right now. Outdated, Charlie and Dennis. What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a good day. I think we should just dive into questions. I guess, right?
People are
Uh,
saying I'm too quiet. Do you want me to
oh no, that's my
increase?
OBS. I think.
Oh, okay.
This should be fine right now. Yeah, this is because I usually do like the background music for my streams, and that's because I'm recording like
Right.
my desktop audio. It should be
I'll try
better now.
speak more into the mic, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, man. Let's see. I have like a couple little lists here. I've written down some
Yeah.
questions. I don't know if you can see it. And these are mostly from like the people that are on the Instagram stories that we asked. And the first one is from someone in the chat right now, Outdated, and he asked, I think it is from Outdated, anyways. How to build an asset store from scratch? Have you ever been asked that?
What you do is just make the assets and then just pay someone to make you a website. That's what I did.
Okay.
So, I mean, to be fair though, I was actually speaking to someone about this today, who is like selling their assets through someone else's store, which is cool, but I would just say just start on Gumroad because Gumroad compiles a mailing list for you. They deal with fraud stuff. They're not very good at it, but they deal with it for you. They've got like customer service people, and I know there's some people who just sell through someone else's store, and all they get is like a Shopify screenshot once a month, and that's all the
Oh
proof
wow.
they get of how much their thing sold. And I know, I mean, I use a WordPress,
Right.
and everything on my store is made by me. But if I was selling other people's stuff, I know that I could very easily just manipulate the screenshot to show that they didn't sell anything, even if they sold loads. And obviously, I get all the mailing list sign-ups. I get all the Facebook pixel data, the tracking cookies, all that stuff from their
Right.
product. So I would say that just make a Gumroad and just go, just try. Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's you just got like the number one problem I think is for asset makers who want to sell on other people's stores, and
Yeah,
the
don't
way
do
that I
it.
try
Don't do
to,
it.
I actually started like having other people sell, but like I just made them like a
Oh,
WordPress account, so they can actually
oh,
like track
it's
all
so
of the
they
sales.
can log in. There you go. See that?
Yeah,
That's loads better.
yeah. I just feel like
Yeah, that's so much better.
yeah, I wouldn't trust like anyone from the internet either. Like even though like like I feel like I can be trusted because you see my face a lot like on YouTube and stuff, but and like I
Yeah.
can still imagine like these people want to see for themselves, and I feel like that's the important part.
Yeah, I think it's better to just make a bit of money on your own, getting all the data, getting all the analytics
Hmm.
on your own, than make an okay or even a lot of money like from someone else because they could cut you off at any point, or
Right.
they
Yeah.
could decide they're done with you, and then you're back to square one.
Right. But yeah, anyways, I also use WordPress, by the way. And it's
Yeah.
fairly easy, like with the whole digital products and stuff. Like
Mm.
it's quite of a learning curve, I guess, if you like never used WordPress before. But other than that, it's like super easy to use it, in my opinion, I guess.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, luckily, right now, like one of my like best friends from school. He went to university and did web design, and we didn't speak for a couple of years, but he's working on a new website now for me.
Oh,
And it
really?
was cool to like be able to hire him, given that we were friends and stuff when we were younger and stuff. So it's like what you said about you can't trust anyone on the internet. I was like,
Right.
he's got all my login now, but because I know where he lives, so if he wants to ruin my life, I can go to his house.
Yeah, okay. That's yeah, and it's also it must feel like you said pretty good to work with someone that you personally know and like you can go
Yeah,
to and
definitely.
yeah. That's why I like I have some friends who do like smaller Dreadlab stuff for me. Like one of my friends is now like doing social posts for the Dreadlabs clothing page, and one of
That's cool.
them will like try to do like more music stuff in the future. So that's really cool that you can also like work with your friends on stuff that are actually like
Yeah,
business thing, you know, like
yeah, it's cool to work with your friend, and it's not just fun. Like you pay them. You can actually pay them now. Well,
yeah,
or I can actually pay them now, or you can, or whatever.
yeah.
Not everyone can, obviously, but yeah, that's definitely one of the cooler things that's come from um my page, basically.
Right. Yeah. So another one, and this is probably like you probably already expert on this, as you have like I think in my opinion like the biggest like repost page. But how do you get your art noticed by clients? So not by designers, but by clients.
Okay, that's a good question because people always ask me the other one, and I don't even repost people anymore. Um, so I would say that the best thing to do with getting noticed by like a potential client, there's a lot of people who they kind of find one style and that they'll just upload. That's it. That's all they'll do from then on. And unless you're someone like, the I don't know her full name, Alicia Malavida. You know, she does the
Oh yeah,
RGB. I've got one. I don't know if you can see it over there.
yeah, yeah.
Unless you're someone like that, which like she uploads the same style all the time, but she's crazy, like she's really good at it, and no one else knows how to do it. I just think like you just need variety, like just show people that you're not just a one trick pony. Like you can do this album art style, or you can do posters, or if you can do typography, or even just some cool fonts or whatever. Like someone hired me, this was like a year ago, but someone hired me to do their logo and they just wanted a font. And I said, well, like you could just buy this font and just type it yourself.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link. Like I won't really bother because it's like a repeat client. I was like, I don't really want to charge you for that. And they were like, yeah, but I feel like you have cooler fonts, so I'm just going to pay you to do it. And I was like, oh, all
Oh,
right.
are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that the answer is just don't just put out what does well on the algorithm, and just put out new stuff, try new things, get good at stuff and stuff like that.
You know what I like really miss nowadays when you look on Instagram and you look at like a lot of smaller designers, I guess. I
Yeah.
miss seeing like a full-on project, you know, like a whole like the case study, like
Yeah.
maybe like some typography experimentations, maybe like multiple proposals or whatever, or maybe like multiple uses of like one branding that you did instead of like one artwork. You know what I mean? Like it feels too quickly
Yeah.
done or something. It feels like
Yeah.
it's
And
pleasure in the algorithm and nothing else, you know?
we were talking about this just before we went live, weren't we, about like the gradient human trend and like all that stuff. Yeah, like you'll see people just upload, and I understand why. Like, I think Instagram has kind of turned everyone. You're not like a designer anymore. You're just like a content creator,
Right.
um, who you just like on there to get followers, which is fine. Like, I understand that. That's fine. But yeah, I remember you would make the Square album cover, you would make the CD mock-up, the vinyl mock-up, the
Yeah.
poster, the business card, or just loads of stuff that made no sense,
Yeah.
but you were uploading it anyway. It was like 2017, 2018 kind of times on Instagram.
Mhm.
I think that probably will come back, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would be a good way to get clients too.
Yeah, definitely. Also, like coming back to like Malavida, I feel like she's more of an artist that has found her own respective
Yeah,
style compared to like
a designer.
following. Yeah, I don't see her as a designer. More of like a how Basquiat has his own signature style, like a true
Yeah, of
artist.
course.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that people will hire her because she's perfected that thing,
Yeah.
and no one else can do it. No one else knows even how she does it. And I feel like a lot of people apply the same principles that she uses with her content and her Instagram page, except they're uploading something that 100 other people are doing. So
Yeah.
you're not special now because everyone knows how to do it. Everyone is doing it.
Hmm.
And the audience that you get from that will just be other graphic designers anyway. Like, it's better to have 100 followers that are all like label execs than 10,000 followers that are all graphic designers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also like talked about it briefly before going live. Like you just had like a quick rant yesterday about like how you missed the 2019 like
Yeah.
not even like the 2019 community, but like the community, the state it was in, I guess. You know what I mean? Like the posts that were being done, and like everything was still kind of new, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just miss the visuals of it, really. I mean, the accounts that got big in 2019 are still big now. So, like,
mhm,
no one disappeared, but it's just the visuals I miss, I think.
yeah. And it also like I kind of miss like for example seeing Gucci Mane's work for the first time. You know, like now I see his new work and I still think it's cool and really nice looking or
Yeah.
whatever. But it's still like yeah, I miss like seeing that for the first time or like listening to a song for the first time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I always think that, like, I wish I could just go back and, I don't know, just see whatever for the first time, or like play a game for the first time, or
yeah,
like watch, because once you've done it, like, it's done. And then I don't know. I feel
yeah.
like that's happening with Instagram too. Yeah.
Yeah, it also happens with like I've been watching like a show or whatever, and I'm like, oh, like for example, like when I watch The Office, I'm like, oh, I wish I could like watch this over again, but I didn't hear the jokes yet. You know what I mean? Like they become gradually
Yeah.
less funny if you repeatedly watch it. But
Yeah. I've been watching The Office like on loop pretty much since the start of the pandemic.
yeah, I miss like yeah watching it for the first time. I guess you know.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so let me see if I get another question here. Oh, how old were you when you first got your like first actual solo project? I think this is from Harry.
It's a commission.
Yeah.
Um, I think I was like 18, which was I 18? I think I was eight. Yeah, I would have been 17 or 18, but before then, I was making stuff for ages and I just didn't really know what I was doing. Like, you can go on SoundCloud and you can find this, but I literally started like it was crap, but I started a record label just to release people's music, just so I could make the artwork
Oh.
for it, because I just wanted. It's not on Spotify. It's just YouTube and SoundCloud, but it's called Table 26. You can look it up. But yeah, I literally, like, I was doing them all the time. Didn't get paid for any of it. And then eventually, with all the friends I'd made in music, um, I think the artist was called Cavern Brady. He's still going. He's still like making music and stuff. But yeah, he paid me for some album art, and I think he was the first person to pay me for some album art. Yeah,
All right. And just to be clear, you were like 17, 18 at this time. How old are you right now?
24, which makes me feel
24.
super old because I know, like, some of the people in the chat that I'm recognizing the names are like 18 or 19 now.
Oh yeah. You're kind of like glitching out there.
Oh, are you still there?
I'm still here. Can you hear me? Oh yeah, I think you're fine now.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no
I can.
worries.
Yeah. I can see it just dropped for a sec, but back to 3 bars now.
All right. Yeah, for the people in the chat, this will probably happen when I have people on Discord. You
Yeah,
know,
sorry guys.
it's normal. You know, like we have to take into account your internet connection, my internet connection, and you know, yeah. Anyways, all
Yeah.
right. So another one from Harry Vincent was he has a lot of questions, by the way. Like I think I think I picked around like 5 or something. So the next one from him was what has been your career path from school, like from high school onward?
So From high school onward, I my first job I was a cleaner. Literally like used to clean. Well, I was supposed to be cleaning like toilets and like
But
offices.
but you didn't.
Um, well, they would. I would bear in mind like I was like 17. But yeah, we would. They would send me. I would have an entire floor on my own. So I would just get one of the vacuum cleaners, go into one of the offices, lock the door, stick the vacuum on, and sit on my phone so it sounded like I was cleaning. So eventually I got fired or sacked
Oh
from
yeah.
that. But I didn't care about that anyway. And then after that, I went to university. I dropped out of university because I hated it. That was to study music. Um, and after then, I went and worked at this like call center, um, which was all right. Like it was an all right job, but just got too. I can't swear. So if you don't have anything nice to say, I'm not going to say anything at all. I left that job um, when Album Art Archive like picked up and was going crazy, and like I was selling the assets. I had clients like all the time. I was turning down clients and stuff like that. So now I'm here.
It's crazy how fast that probably has gotten because I don't know. Heard you talking about it with Jesse in this podcast, but I think this was
Yeah.
like last year or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was August I quit. So I was at the call center job for like 3 years. Um and like yeah, I mean to be honest, this is why I make a lot of the advice posts because if I knew what I knew now, I could have just left high school and probably done this. Um like if I knew how much I should be charging, if I knew how much like how many questions or what projects I should and shouldn't take, like I spent like a whole summer working for like this record label. I was telling you about this the other week.
Mm.
Um and like they were just taking advantage of me, like they were just scamming me. And like if I'd have known, I could have spent that time on other things and maybe built up some good clients and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to wait till you're 23, 24 to do this full time. Like there's money there. Like you can do this. You can do this much sooner.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I just graduated and I feel like I should have just dropped out of school like after a week because it was just like unnecessary to me and
Yeah.
yeah, I should have just started doing this like from the get go. I think about it a lot, you know, like what you would have done if you could just go back in time with everything that you knew now. Like you could just jump back in time
Yeah.
for 5 years. Like my whole life would be like so much different, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I worked at the call center job, like there was times where I would have said no to a commission um to go to work, but the commission might have been £400 and I could do it in a day and they were paying me like maybe after tax £50 a day.
Yeah,
So like
that's
looking back, it's like I wish I'd have known all the things I know now. So that's why I just try and put it all out there.
yeah. It's and I feel like a lot of people are actually learning from that, and that's a good thing about your post is I actually and I see this on the server as well, like on the Dreadlabs server, that people are actually also starting to be more serious about their pricing. You know, like about a year ago or something, like when the server just started out, I had someone like talking about like how he thought it was like normal to just ask like $10 for like an artwork or something, you know, and I feel like the general idea of how much it should cost is just like changing, and that I feel like you're like a big part, playing a big part in that.
Hopefully, I mean, it's all on my page, but and I can't really say who for everyone, but a lot of the information is coming from like artists who are very well known among like in the music industry,
Yeah,
if you like, and they can't post this because their clients are going to see it.
yeah,
So it's like sometimes like the posts on there are just me using the platform to just put out the information, like, and
right.
it's come from other people. Like I remember in 2019, I was approached by this woman called Lana Scalaro, and you can Google her. She's super rich. and she was releasing a song on Dead Mouse label,
Hmm.
Mousetrap. And she messaged me. She was like, "Oh, I really like your artwork. I'd like you to do the artwork for this release I've got. It's on Dead Mouse label. It's on Mousetrap." And I was like, that's so cool because that's like the genre of music I've always listened to.
Hmm.
Um, and I was so scared of losing out on it. I was like, oh, $50. And she said no, she wanted to pay me in exposure. So
She said no
I
to the
put this,
50.
she said no to 50. She said that
Wow.
was too much. But she just wanted to pay me in exposure. So I posted a tweet about it because there's an article about her saying about how rich she is, basically. I posted the two screenshots next to each other. And Dan Barkle replied to the tweet, kind of mad at me for charging $50. And so I messaged him, and like he spent, I don't know how long, but he gave me like a good portion of that day to explain to me why I should be charging more and why it affects everyone,
Hmm.
and you charging $50 makes it hard for him to charge 5 grand or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, like people like Dan or people who just put time in to speak to people who don't know, like it makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. Also, like I'm like I feel like I've lost like a couple of clients when I started like the Dreadlabs platform, and like I've never like talked like shit about like clients of mine or something, but yeah, I feel like you said, like sometimes like I feel like it's like with me because I share too much of like my own like design knowledge in terms of like tutorials, that I feel like, oh, I'm just gonna follow your
Yeah,
tutorials and I won't hire you anymore. But so that's why it
yeah,
was like I had like that short period where it was like my I guess my like client revenue like went kind of like down, but like Dreadlabs wasn't there yet to pick up on that and to balance it out. So and now it's actually balanced out properly. But like it was like a rough period, I guess. But now I have like I'm lucky enough
yeah,
to have patrons and stuff like that, and the Dreadlabs shop is running well. And but yeah, it's hard to be in like a place where you cannot share your knowledge with other designers because like your clients are unhappy with it. Like
yeah. And for a while, I didn't really. It's in the bio now, but for a while, I kind of didn't want everyone to know that the Skintrest page was the
mhm.
same person as Album Art Archive. But I don't care now. I'm not bothered because the people I work with now, they would agree that
Mhm.
designers need to be paid, and they would agree with all that stuff
Yeah,
basically.
definitely. Also, like I don't know. I'm not gonna name anything, but I've heard of a designer who did like a lot of work for like a record label and a couple of artists on there, and he
Mm.
basically never got mentioned or never got credited. He just got paid. Like he was there, like he just got paid by them regularly, and he was paid well, but um he just never like really got any credit because they were afraid that people would know who like did the artworks, and then he would like got like stolen by another record label or whatever who wanted to pay more. So I feel like
Yeah,
that kind of like competitiveness between like record labels and stuff like that is also like there that we have to keep in mind. And it's
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I understand that because if you're a musician and you've put a year into an album, and like the album, people do self-titled albums, don't they? Like they would do an album and it's just called their name. Um, you don't want to give some designer any of that shine. Like I totally understand that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it sucks. Like it'd be nice to get credited, but if you got paid, like
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah.
You got paid. You've done your job.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the difference. Like because he was like kind of like an in-house designer there as well. Like
Mm.
if it was a freelancer, I think it would be like a different story as well. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in-house, technically, if I hired someone in-house to work for Album Art Archive, all the work they produce is technically just by Album Art Archive
Yeah.
because they're my employee. There's someone I know, and you probably follow him on Instagram, and I can't say who it is, but who's done a load of work on the new Billie Eilish thing, and that's huge. The her new album and stuff
Hmm.
that's coming out. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he did a load of the work on there, and he can't say anything, and I'm like, I want to tell everyone because he's like so talented and stuff, and
Yeah.
I want to brag for him, but he can't say anything, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, it's NDAs are like I think they're good, but like it kind of sucks that you cannot brag or be like all like excited
Yeah.
about it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, as long as they end, as long as the
yeah,
NDA ends, like I feel like that's fair, you know, to
yeah,
post about it afterwards.
yeah, definitely. Let's go to another question, maybe. Oh,
Yeah, sorry, I'm just rambling.
oh, no worries, no worries. We have a good conversation here. So another two questions by Harry. The first one is fuck your favorite color. Which color do you do you hate the most? Which color?
Um, do you know, I used to use this like particular shade of green all the time. And I just kind of got, I now when I look back at my old work that uses that shade of green, I'm like, God, that's so ugly. And
What
I will lean the whole piece on this one shade of green.
kind
And
of
I
kind of
kind of
like the
really don't like
Dreadlabs green or not?
that. No, because you do the black and purple too. Um, yeah, you can see the phase. Or it's Harry that sent that question, Harry Vincent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I would either say that green, or the red he uses,
I feel like
just because.
it's it's kind of the same as like Ethan Fender. Do you know him?
Ethan,
Ethan Fender. I think that's his name, right?
I'll look him up, but go on, sorry.
Yeah, he's kind of like the same like red orange shade. So, but I guess like Harry and like Ethan both like are
Oh
you know
yeah,
like
I've seen this
Malavita they
guy.
have like they have like they're actually allowed to use this color all the time. If you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, it's different because they take it seriously.
yeah.
Um, yeah, they're better at it than I was with the green. But yeah, we'll say the green just to be nice to Harry.
All right. And then another one by him was where does
God's
the names?
sake.
I'll have two more by him, and then we'll go into other questions. But like the second to last question that he has is where does the name Skintrest come from? Sounds whack.
So when I was like 14 or 13, like Tumblr was really cool. Me and all my friends were always on Tumblr. And there was a blog called Skintrest, and they got banned. So I sniped their username before they could get it back, and I used it on like Xbox after that, and then I don't know, it just came with me.
Have you ever heard like from that blog again? Like they're still like fighting
No,
to get it back?
I didn't know them, so they didn't. They might have no idea. Maybe they deleted their blog. I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, I sniped it straight away because it was one that like my friends followed too. So it was like, oh, I got their username, and then it's just stuck. And as well, for a long time, I was like making things, and I was like, I want to put these on the internet, but I don't want it to just be like my full name, or I don't want to have some stupid username. So I just thought I'll just use that, and I'll change it if I think of a better one. And I never thought of a better one.
I've had the same with like the name Scorpion Trooper. Like I saw someone on that like, and I sniped it for like my PS3 username, and then but I never ended up using it as my design name or something. It never like it didn't stuck long enough.
Yeah, that same thing then. Yeah.
I love how like I feel like a lot of people have that where they just like they find like a cool name online and they just take it and then like it becomes their like thing for like I don't know how many years, you know, something that like doesn't make sense
Yeah.
but it just sounds cool.
Yeah, like when I was referring to you, I didn't say Tom. I was just like, oh, I was speaking to Dreadlabs. But yeah,
Yeah.
I know you've got staff or you've got more than one person, and people will say like, oh, hi guys to me, Album Art Archive, because they
Oh
think
yeah.
it's a whole company or whatever. But yeah, the Skintrest one, they know it's just one person.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of people ask me sometimes like how many people work on, and I work with an intern right now, but
Mm.
and like aside from a couple of my friends like we just talked about, But like 99% of the stuff that I just do myself. But I always like in my posts I always tend to say like let us know in the comments. But with that I kind of like refer to like the Dreadlabs community. You know, let other people who are watching know in the comments.
Yeah.
But there's also like the whole thing, right? Like that discussion, like whether you should call yourself a studio if you're like a one-man person. Like, you know, if you're like a freelance designer, you call yourself studio, not something. I don't know. What's your thought? What are your thoughts on that?
I think I watched I don't know his surname, James from Studio Innate talk about this.
Oh yeah.
And he said how like he did it because he was always hiring other people and he didn't want it to just be by I think it's James Collins, artwork by James Collins or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. I don't really if you want to put studio in your name, that's fine. I think it looks a bit weird when someone has studio in their name and like they don't have any clients or whatever. I think that looks a bit weird. Or like they're just posting, I don't know, and it's not design work. I just think that looks weird. But I'm an idiot, so do what you want. Like, who cares?
I feel the same way. Like people can do whatever they want, but I always think like if you just show that you're one person and you do all of this kind of stuff, it will probably even look more impressive than when you let people think you're like a 10 people big studio or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think the same. Yeah.
So actually like checking out the chat right now. So let's say the stream has its own preview. It is made in some style like other previews of the Dreadlabs channel. I wonder what the style these previews are made in and nothing. I don't. Sorry, Jake. I have no clue what you mean with your question. You get that sometimes, you know. Anyways, we got Abby in the chat from Abby and Japari, Broken.
Abby is here because I need to publicly apologize for me talking. Oh, I'm not going to swear, but yeah, me just like running my mouth on Twitter. So like you probably saw me ranting about we were talking about this before about the gradient human artwork.
Yeah.
And I'd said that Ed Rico was the first one to do it. I told you about this before.
Yeah.
And it was actually him and Japari with the green human poster thing they did. So yeah, that's why he's here.
I'm happy enough that I mentioned both of them in the tutorial how to copy that style.
And by the way, he didn't tell me, that's just a joke. He didn't say, oh, I need to apologize. I messaged him after Keezy from Black Market said, oh, I thought Obby and Japari were first. So,
Right. So okay, I think we can move on to Oh, I thought I had one more question by Harry, but I don't.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay, fair enough.
So another question, which is kind of an odd one, but if you could be any sauce, what would it be? I have no clue why this. I just wrote it down because I thought it was funny.
I don't know. Barbecue. I like barbecue. Apple.
Is there applesauce? Oh, right, like the mashed apple.
Like Christmas. Yeah, you'd have it at Christmas, wouldn't you?
Oh, like, yeah, I don't think we have that in the Netherlands. And probably a Dutch person in the chat will correct me now.
At Christmas, yeah, applesauce with my chicken or like pigs in blankets or mash, or you just have some applesauce.
All right. I don't know. Okay, so I think it might be something similar in. Okay, so I just read the chat and Advinas is saying it'll all be fine when that collab drops. So I think we're. Are we talking about an Abby and Japari and Advinas collab? I don't know.
I don't know what you're on about now because it skipped for a second.
Oh, sorry. So Advinas is saying in the chat, like, it will all be fine when that collab drops, like the collab between him and Abby and Japari, maybe.
He's trying to weasel his way into a collab now. He's trying to... trying to make something happen.
I should take this opportunity while Abby is watching. Collab with me. Anyways, like... here's a good question. What is a popular thing that you've made, like an artwork or something, but it got like popular, but that you didn't personally like?
I mean, I would say, to be honest, this isn't something I made, but um, when I was just reposting artwork, like I'm obviously glad that I gained the followers from that. I would say I gained the first 20,000 followers on my page pretty much. I was doing some assets, but it was mostly just reposting.
Mm.
Um, which is cool, but like to be honest, I found out that when you repost someone's artwork, if you're a big page, you gain more from it than they do every time without exception. Every
Mm.
time you gain more than they do. So to be honest, I would say that I would have liked to. I would trade in my 40,000 to give the 20k back, to have just gained 20k off of doing assets or advice or whatever.
Right.
If that answers the question.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I feel you. Also, like I remember, I don't know which designer. It was a pretty big designer within the community. But she was, I think it was Shida Essa. Do you know her?
Yeah, I know Shida.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Shida.
Yeah,
Maybe I've been saying it wrong.
I probably pronounced it wrong as well. But I think she was like reposted by another like repost account once, and like she didn't got credit at all, and she went kind of like on a rant that like you said, like I feel she felt like it was just more about like the Instagram cloud that the repost page would get instead of like
Yeah,
getting like clients towards her, and
yeah. I
I
know
feel like
who
you're
that
there.
was. Yeah, I know who that was. Me and Shida and like a bunch of other people have all been in this one group chat on Instagram since like 2019. So yeah, I remember when that happened, and the person who did it was like, he called her babe or something, or he said something
Oh,
really,
kind
uh, really sexist,
yeah, okay,
basically.
yeah. That's a shame. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
like shade anyone or something, but that's like something that came to mind, and like I felt like that's something that like I feel that you were doing like very differently, and especially like with the appreciation post that you've done, you're actually like actively trying to give like get people to follow like these other designers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, luckily he's my friend now, but there's a guy, Sweet Disguise, on Instagram who makes these really cool 3D renders. And every time when I was just reposting, if I reposted one of his artworks, instantly 1,000 likes, followers straight away to me. And like now, I mean, he's doing well. Like I still speak to him, he's fine. But now, obviously, I've got this big audience, and I think he's at like 10k, which is great and stuff. But ultimately, from all that artwork I reposted, that's not on my page anymore.
Mm,
So I gained more from those works than he did probably.
yeah. Do you feel like a little bit guilty about that then, or
Kind of, but I have gone out of my way to make like friends with
yeah?
all those people. Same as like Obi and Japari, like we speak. I bought their stuff. I spent money on their like clothes. I'm wearing, this is the t-shirt now.
Oh
I'm
really? Oh
wearing.
nice.
Yeah. I got the stickers and I've got the lighters somewhere. Like I bought all of it. So like we're kind of even. You might be able to see in the background, like I've got prints and stuff. I'll buy stuff from people who I used to repost all the time.
Yeah.
So kind of we're even now.
Yeah, I feel like you approach it like differently than some other accounts on Instagram. Like I don't know name
Repost,
anyone specifically, but you know.
yeah, they definitely have a place, and it's really cool, like that people can gain something from a repost page, but like ultimately, that you'll realize that the majority of your audience who follow a repost page are not clients, they're not graphic designers, they're just like normal people who want to see some art every now and again.
Yeah, like they just
Um,
dig the aesthetics and stuff.
yeah, like the second 20,000 followers that I gained, I so much more engaged and like with my new content. For like I think maybe January to March of this year, because I had no reposts whatsoever, only like graphic design related advice or assets.
Hmm.
I was losing followers every single day, every single month, because all those people were leaving now
Right.
who followed me for reposts because they're not even graphic designers. So Yeah, it's just a different audience.
Yeah, I feel like it's better now, and it's healthier for the community.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially like the
Hopefully.
last post you did, like was it yesterday?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I made that when I was just feeling miserable, and I was like, oh, I need someone to say this to me, so I'm gonna put it out there.
I feel like you really helped a lot of people there. You know.
Hopefully, yeah. I can go back to that now and remind myself as well.
Yeah, I used to have like this picture on my phone. Are you still there? Oh yeah, are you there?
Sorry, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it dropped out for a second. Go on.
but yeah, I used to have like this picture on my phone, and it's just said like something like to every creative here, and then it was like similar. It was like a tweet, but it was similar to like the message you were sending.
Yeah,
You know, you're like you are not your work, and I
yeah,
had another one with like unclench your jaw and like loosen up your shoulders, and I would just like scroll through them regularly, and I was like, okay, now I feel a little better, and I can like get back into it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you
yeah.
just need
It's
that boost.
especially with design on Instagram because everyone just puts out what their best thing and I don't think people should put out their worst thing or talk about being miserable. But like there's an artist and I'll mention them, Fox Rocket Studio, who on Instagram, like he's like blown up recently and I used to share his work, he used to share my work on his page. Um and there was one day like 2 weeks ago where I'd just released an asset pack called Vandalism, and I'd put a load of time into it, and I posted it, and it didn't get very many likes, which what there's I don't care now, but I saw he'd released a pack that day, this like snake vector pack, and like he got like 3,000-4,000 likes straight away, and I was like, how I don't understand how these people do it. So I messaged him and we got on Discord. And I said to him, "Oh, like, how are you doing that?" And he just goes, "I don't know." And I was like, "Oh, I feel better now because all these people are doing well. Like most of them have no idea why they're doing well, or most of them it's just hard work. So
Yeah,
like, you just gotta get a reminder that everyone else is like thinking the same things as you, and everyone else is worried about the same things as you, and stuff like that.
yeah, definitely. And not also like I keep on saying this, but like I always like feel that I have to compete with you, with like Jesse, with like Albi and Japar. You know, like I feel like I have to compete with everyone in our community.
Yeah,
Instead of like even because you're browsing on your like little phone, it feels like one person is doing this. You know what I mean? Like you're just losing against one
yeah.
person, and you're not even losing by the way. But yeah, it can really like yeah, I don't know. It can really bother you. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think people just talk to people like um yeah, you just got to just talk to people. Like if you feel threatened by someone, just make friends with them and you'll learn that they're probably just as much of an idiot as you think you are. And they probably are just doing the same thing as you, but they just got lucky or the algorithm likes them and it
Mhm.
doesn't like you or whatever. Like everyone's human.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a really, really good one that a lot of people in the chat probably should also live by. You know, like I've had a burnout because of like feeling that way, and
Yeah.
yeah. Then okay, sorry, I just like reading some comments in the chat here.
Yeah, yeah.
The community feels so small too once you're in it. Everyone knows each other, whereas you, like from the outside, it seems so big and confusing, and everyone seems unapproachable. And I kind of feel like, you know, like I remember like last year in the beginning of Dreadlabs, I was like, I wanted to do like interviews, like social posts with interviews, and I did one with Tom Arena, and
Oh, I love Tom.
yeah, shout out to Tom. Not me, Tom. Like shout out to other Tom. Anyways, like, and I was like, I remember because like Red Labs was still pretty small, and I was like scared to like ask other people to interview because I was like I felt like they were unapproachable because they had like more followers than me. And like now that you're in it,
Yeah.
you just like everyone is down with stuff like this, and you know.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, obviously, you mentioned Jesse and stuff. Like, he kind of said the same to me. About like sometimes like you feel like getting a guest or whatever is like unattainable because they're such a big, big person like Black Market or whatever. Like
Yeah.
their DMs will be rammed full of people every day. But like you can, if you just get it seen by the person, like as long as you're not being rude or demanding something or whatever, like most people, big or small, will reply to you. In fact, we mentioned Alicia Malavida. Um, there's a post on my page called Women in Design that was pretty much, I kind of like worded it differently, but she wrote a lot of it. And I asked her for help. She sent me this huge message, copied and pasted it, put it in there. And I didn't want to put her name to it because it's like I said, like if she talks about sexism, she's probably going to be subjected to more sexism.
Yeah, they're probably gonna
So
attack
we
her
didn't
for
put
it.
exactly. So we didn't put her name in it. And then all the other quotes are from other women that I just spoke to. So I didn't really do anything for that post. I kind of just used my like voice or my page to just give them to write. They could have wrote whatever. Like she could have wrote about buying her prints if she wanted to, and I would have put that in there. But yeah, like there's people who responded to that, and I'm asking them like a personal question about sexism, and I was nice, and I wasn't asking them for money or something for free. Like, so they just contributed, and that was cool.
Yeah, and I feel like that's it isn't such a hard thing if you're just not being an asshole, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. I get so many messages, and it's like the guy who has no followers and he's nice, I'll click on it. But like when I see people just getting rude or just being an asshole, oh sorry, I swore,
Oh, no
just being
worries, no worries.
horrible, um, just being horrible. Yeah, I'm just like, just go away. I did a Q&A yesterday and someone was like, I asked, oh, what's everyone doing this month? And like three of the responses were like, oh, I'm unfollowing you. And I was like, bye, go
Yeah,
then. And I really wanted to respond, but yeah, you just got to respond to the positive ones.
yeah. I always feel like I get a fair share of rude DMs or whatever or demands, and um, I always I have like a principle when I reply, and it's just like if you would be have the balls to say this to me in person, I will reply to it. You know what I mean? Like if you're just gonna call me like an a-hole or whatever, like you wouldn't do that in person. You know, you don't walk up to someone and like call them bad names. So or like say give me free stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's rude and it's
yeah,
weird. So and I feel like if you do that in the DMs, like if you're probably too scared to do it in person, so I'm not gonna reply to you anyway.
yeah, that's a good way to do it.
All right, so I have a couple more questions for you.
Yeah.
Someone asked you, what are your opinions on putting your signature on your design work? So, for example, like a really small, I'm not sure, he didn't really like ask this, but I'm thinking like maybe like a really small signature or something to like recognize the designer of an artwork by. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, Digital artwork, yes, I think it's cool. Maybe not on client work. But if you go on my page, Skintrest, there's this little snake icon that
Right.
I've been like hiding in artwork for years. But for example, the Polygon print that I have there, I can't. Well, I could probably show you it if you want. And the Malavida one I have over there, they both signed, which I thought was really cool. And I've bought stuff from other people, and they don't sign it, and I'm like, disappointed. But yeah, I think digital artwork, as long as it's not client work, you're probably fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah, and definitely like if the client agrees with it, you know, like I recently worked on like a lyric video, and there's like a actual credit part in it, and I just put my name in there, and I just like
Oh yeah,
if they just ask me to remove it, I'll be fine with it. But if they are fine with it, you know, it's cool that I can just put my name on it. You know.
yeah. I mean, a video, they always have the credits at the end anyway, don't they? So that's more acceptable. But with album artwork, like just be careful because like I've seen it happen before where if you sell a design to someone and you sign away, especially if you sign away the rights, and you've put your signature or your logo in there, they
Yeah,
might think that they're purchasing the rights to that, and they might have an
yeah,
idea they want to print some
yeah,
stickers or some, and then your logo's on it, and it's like
yeah.
you've now lost part of your brand kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely just like talk to your client or whatever beforehand if they want it or if they don't want it and what they want to do with it, I guess. And you know,
Yeah, yeah.
also like someone in the chat just said like it happened last stream. It was like I was doing like I didn't have like normally I stream for 2 hours in design live stream on Friday. And last Friday I only had 1 hour, so I just thought like, okay, let's just make a quick little tribal artwork in Procreate and like bring it into Photoshop and do some chrome effects. You know, for the people who like actually never seen how to do it. Like I doubt that someone's never seen it, but you know, it's just like all for fun.
Yeah.
And then there was like someone in the chat, and he just started straight up like, how to be unoriginal, how to be this, how to be that, and he was like actually trying to start a fight with me, and I was like, you know, I agree with you. This style is very old now. It's been done. It's been like overdone times 10. But I'm just doing it for fun. I'm just chilling out here, and you have no business like talking to me that way. And like this person in the chat say, yeah, we have one right now. Some guy named AlbumArtArchive is saying how to be unoriginal. But yeah, and I was like, you know, you can just stop spreading the negativity because you were probably too afraid to say this to me if we were just like sitting in a panel or something, you know?
Yeah, and as well, like I've tried to record YouTube videos recently because I was speaking to you, and there's a big difference. Like I can sit here and make like something that looks really cool, but there's a big difference between being able to do that and being able to talk about it on camera and explain it well on camera. Like I was trying to just record a little video that was like, hi, this is my channel. I'm going to upload X, Y, and Z.
Right.
This is my Instagram name, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so proper nervous. Like I couldn't look at the camera. So yeah, I think there's a big difference between being unoriginal and like just I don't know, doing what you can. Like it's hard
Yeah.
to talk about that stuff anyway.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like if I was just like playing football on a live stream, like, why would someone like say that it would be unoriginal, you know?
Yeah, someone's played football already, man. Come
On. Also, Venus is saying, I can't believe you guys are still working on album art. So unoriginal. Everyone keeps using album art. Should just from now on, like with all of the album cover designers around the world, just decided we're gonna stop. You know, just like
We're gonna do
like,
circles now. We're not doing squares. We're just gonna do circles.
bring it back to the CDs.
Yeah, I wish we could. To be honest, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I've like I used to be an intern for Barong Family, and I had like I did a couple of artworks for them, but they're all digital releases. But with every release, they used to print out like a 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter print of the artwork, and I just felt so good that I had like a physical version of like something that I made on like my computer, you know. So I cannot wait to like start working on like a vinyl or something, you know. Like, and I want to do that with stuff with Dreadlabs as well because I would like to do it for a client, but it'd also be like really fun to do it like the whole direction yourself, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like talk about it too much because it's still in the process of being, we're in the early stages, but going back to what I said about like reposting and being a repost page and stuff, there's something I'm gonna do later this year where rather than reposting someone, they would have the chance to have their artwork printed and I'll pay for it, and they'll hopefully get it. That's all I want to say, but there's some people in chat who know. Please don't say. There's some people in chat who know, who are involved. But yeah, like hopefully there's going to be a chance for like maybe some young like 16, 15-year-old kid who's never had anything printed, or maybe they think that's like unattainable, and we can like do it for them, and it'll be like motivating, and they'll feel good about it and stuff.
Oh, that's a really cool idea. I cannot wait to
I'll tell
see
you.
that.
I'll tell you more about it. I'll tell you more after when we're not live.
All right.
I'll tell you more about it.
So I guess I have one more question actually, and this is actually the reason why I wanted to talk to you on the podcast, because we've
Okay.
been planning this like for like a long time, and like it never came to be. But then a couple of weeks ago, you gave me some advice on like getting paid hourly or like per project.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
someone asked like what the question to you was like how to get a decent hour loan, and like already know your answer, because you don't feel you told me about like
Sorry, I'm
uh
just plugging my laptop into charge. So
oh,
carry.
no
I'm
worries.
still listening.
So yeah, you talked about like how you shouldn't ask like an hourly rate but like a proper project rate, right? Do you remember that? And
In my opinion, yeah, but I am a moron. So
but actually, like you sent me like a quick little short on YouTube by Chris Doe, and I think like
Mhm.
uh, because because I just started to realize why it was like better, I started doing it immediately, which is really
Yeah.
nice. But yeah, like yeah, can you tell me a little bit the reasoning behind why you prefer like a project rate instead of like an hourly rate?
Well, because for me, everyone's different. But for me, like even when I accept commissions that are not what I want to be paid, um, when I'm accepting a commission that's not, doesn't really warrant the time I'm putting into it, I still want it to be like as good as possible. Um, so if I'm gonna charge someone hourly, like it's not their fault that I sat and watched Netflix and ordered a takeaway and sat and stared at it for 6 hours about what font I'm going to use, or I don't know. I don't charge hourly because that's not like the way I'm productive. Like I'm productive in the way that like if I know I've got something important to do, like I'll clean the entire room, I will go for a walk, I will go and get an energy drink, I'll make some food, I'll start eating the food, I'll watch a live stream, and then I'll open the thing, and then I'll start doing it. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's not fair. And like, there's other times where I'm just like, yeah, I'll just do this in like an hour and it'll look good.
Right,
But I want to get paid the whole thing. Like, just because I'm doing it in an hour doesn't mean you don't have to pay me my normal rate. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's either working against you or working against the client. But whenever I make statements like this, I will get someone in my DMs who's like, uh, so good at what they do, and they're like, "Oh, actually, you should
hmm,
charge hourly because of X, Y, and Z." And I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, you're right."
yeah,
So again, don't listen. This is just my opinion. Like, I'm not the smartest person. There's lots of people who
right.
would maybe tell you otherwise.
I feel like getting like a project rate is like very good if you to give like someone an idea of what an album cover might cost. And there are also some cases, and especially with uh, like clients who have like multiple projects for you. Sometimes you just have more feedback for you, and like you go over. Like let's say you have like an hour, 50 euros of a rate of 50 euros, and you're working on something for 10 hours, so 500. Um, and let's say after working on it for 10 hours, the client still would have feedback. Then it would be kind of like a shame that like you could have gotten more if you would charge hourly, right? But I feel like it's
Yeah,
and like you said, like but if you do it before those like 10 hours, you actually gain more money. So I guess it's like it depends on like the project, I guess, right?
yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of the problems like that people encounter, if you've already started working on the project and you've agreed everything, the project is basically finished. It's too late to change things. Like if you've undercharged or if you've not billed right and you've already started work, you cannot tell the client, oh, by the way, you need to now pay me hourly. Like they're just gonna get pissed off
Yeah,
and it's gonna annoy them. So what a lot of the messages I get are like this, but what you should do is client approaches you, I want an album cover. Okay, what do you want? What do you want to do? Like, what do you want it to look like? And then once they've told you what you want what they want it to look like, recap all of that back to them, every single little detail, the date, all of it. So just to confirm, Tom, like you want a 3D skull with I don't know, the 420 symbol on its head, and you want it to be smoking, and you want your face somewhere on it, and you want a track list, and you want it by the 10th of July. Is that all you want? Yeah. Okay. 50% it, take that. Do not start work until you've taken it. And then make the exact thing. And then when you send it back to them, say, right, this is the 3D skull. You can see it's 3D. You can see I've put the 420 logo on its head. You can see your face is on the teeth. And you wanted it by tomorrow. Well, I've sent it to you today, so we're ahead of schedule.
Right.
Then pay me my over 50% and we're done. If they then want to say, oh, can you change it? I've changed my mind. I want this idea. Again, what do you want? What do you want changing? Recap it back to them. Okay, you want this changing. That will be this much, unless you've agreed on a change. That will be this much extra. Pay me that. I mean, usually in full because they've already got the artwork, but pay me the change fee in full. And I will do it and then send them it. And if you've already got into that process and you don't really know what the client wants or your understanding of what they want, you've not recapped that back to them. Because like a lot of the artists I work with are from like LA or like Georgia in America. So like their dialect and the way they speak and stuff, like even little details like that, a lot can get lost in an Instagram message. So and I'm sorry I'm like rambling on here, but if you just recap everything back to them, they might say, no, I don't want a 3D skull. Like I wanted a face, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Or what I want is a chrome human with a I'm 14 and this is deep quote on the top. And I want it to be like weird colors, and then you know what they want, or they might say no, and if you've already got past that stage, like it's kind of too late to rescue one of those situations.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, and I feel like there's also like a big difference between someone who would say, can you change the hue from green to blue, or can you do a completely different 3D model? You know, like if it was just like a minor thing, I would just say, okay, I'll do it. You know.
Yeah, and with what you said about hue there, and I don't know if you've got like a time limit on this. Like if you need me to shut up to end this, I will. But what I used to do, I was looking through some old work recently, and like now, if you commission me and you tell me what you want, that is what you're getting, and that's it. Like you'll get that version. Maybe I'll send you another version I like. Maybe I won't. But I used to like send, okay, you wanted it red, but I've sent you a blue version, a green version, a yellow version, 10 versions where it's a gradient, 10 versions where it's black and white with different contrast balance. And like I was doing that for so long, and a lot of other people I know were also doing that. And you're just digging yourself a hole. Like if you just send one clear, concise, good idea that is what they want, you're probably not going to get asked to do changes anyway. Like if you start sending, here's not a 3D skull and here's a mouse. I don't know, I'm just making it up, but here's something else. They're going to be like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Maybe I'll ask for whatever, for this, for that. So yeah, just keep it simple and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking nonsense.
No, I agree, and it all comes down to the debriefing as well. Because if the debriefing is actually like you said, I want this specific artwork with a skull, whatever, or they would say, can you whip up 5 different proposals, you know, and then you have like a more creative freedom, and there's probably also like a lot of more room for revision in projects like that.
Yeah.
So it all depends. Make sure that you and your client both know what to expect from each other, instead of like going on a hunch, I guess, right?
Yeah, and like if someone says, can you send 5 different proposals, like I'd be saying, well, it sounds like they don't know what they want if they want 5. Why do you want
Yeah.
5? It sounds like you've not landed on an idea. So let's talk more about about that. Or I don't know. Like right now, like when I'm dealing with artists now, unless they're really big and it's a label and they know what they want, and I'm just a little meaningless artist working away. Like when I work with people who are like on my level, like I'll say to them, "Oh, we should make this into a poster." Or there's someone right now who's wanted me to do an NFT for them, but they don't really have the kind of audience that would buy an NFT. And I said, it's probably not gonna, you're probably not gonna sell an NFT. They were wanting to do vinyl sleeves as well. I said, instead of doing an NFT, why don't we do 2 versions of the vinyl? One version, there is only 1 copy available, and people can bid on it on a website, rather than taking it into crypto. There's one version that has other art, unique artwork, or maybe a holographic print. And then the other version you can just buy in a shop, or you can order off of a website for 20 quid or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that like people need to get more involved with the ideas, because I see a lot on Instagram where people say, it's always people who do work for like rappers or pages that have cover art in the name. They'll be like, don't message me unless you know what you want. Don't come to me with this. Oh, I don't know. You come to compare. And I'm like, come to me if you have no idea. Come to me if you don't even know if you want artwork or whatever, because I know I will sell you something that looks amazing. Like I know I'll give you a cool idea. We'll make it work. We'll work out how you can make money from it. But yeah, I think people are too scared to like do what they want.
Yeah, and the way that you just told me how you work, that's also like the way that I kind of learned to be as a designer in school. That's what a designer should do, because like, for example, when we're talking to a rapper, this rapper is not a designer, so it's okay for this rapper to probably not know what he wants yet. So that's your job as a designer to find out together, I guess, and to talk to your client to know, to discover what he wants to have.
Yeah, I love that. When people come to me and they don't know what they want, like that's the best thing ever, because I hate following other people's, because their idea is probably going to be rubbish 9 times out of 10. So when I get to do what I want, sorry, there's an artist I'm talking to now who is going to commission me for 2 separate covers.
Right.
And they were talking to me about how they don't have any music lined up for the rest of the year, and their producer has like quit. So I said, well, why don't you just do this as a 2-track EP? I'll just do 1 piece of artwork, but you could like print some merch and sell it for the EP. You could sell some prints. You could get a limited CD run done, because you're going to be out of work. You don't have a producer. Like you need to make some money from this, rather than just doing 2 Spotify releases. And he was like, "Oh, that's such a good idea. Let's do it." And that's more money for me. And it's cool. It's better for him too. Like a lot of the times when I post about pricing, I get some angry messages from some producer or some independent artist who's like, "You expect us to pay this? We can't afford £500," and that's fine. But if you do pay the £500, or if you pay the £5,000 or 10 grand, you can say to the artist, like, how can I make money from this design?
Yeah.
And there's you can sell all sorts of stuff with the design on it, or you can do adverts and stuff like. And I'm sorry, I know I'm just rambling again, but designers don't always, on Instagram particularly, don't always use their full skill set very well, because we're all on social media all day, making stuff to post on social media. Everyone has a certain time, hashtags, people pay for ads, people use story posts, they try to game the algorithm. But when you get a commission, you just send the JPEG off and you don't get involved with any of that. But you, like, most people on Instagram are like social media experts. Everyone knows how it works. Everyone knows how to get likes and stuff like that. So if it's an independent artist and like they want results from what they're paying me for, and I'm trying to justify why it's
Yeah.
£1,000 or more, like that's how you can do it. You can say, I'll make this content for you. Go into your analytics, find out what time your best time is to post. I will make content for you to post every day at that time for 7 days with this album art, just little story posts or
Yeah.
whatever. And that's how you can, like, with social media and how things are now in 2021, and especially because artists can't go on tour, they can't do a live show because of
Yeah.
COVID. Like, it's a way to be more valued and increase your, like, value to someone, to their project.
Yeah, definitely. And I love this. It just gets me motivated to do like more for my projects and stuff like that, you know? It's and I feel like these
Yeah,
words are something that like a very, especially like someone who just starts like as an Instagram designer, so to speak. And yeah, and he doesn't know the rules yet, and he hasn't gone to school, or he hasn't like learned this stuff anywhere yet. There would be
yeah,
probably be nowhere to learn how this works and how to actually sell
yeah,
more than just an album artwork, because that's what it is. You don't
yeah.
sell the JPEG. Actually, you're like you said, you're selling.
It should be a campaign. Like, if you can, obviously, you don't need it every time, but a campaign. That's what people. When
Yeah,
Ariana Grande releases an album, people don't say, "Oh, look at the album art." They'll be like, "Look at this campaign around
right.
her tour or her album or her merch
Yeah,
or whatever." You can do all that stuff. If you can make an album cover, you can make a story post and a billboard. Not everyone has a budget for a billboard, but if you don't ask, you're never going to find out whether they do.
definitely. I remember like the Chromatica album from Lady Gaga. Like I was so in love with all of the visuals and everything that came with it. You know, even the
Yeah,
costumes and the videos and stuff. And like you said, it's not just that like that she just posted an album cover and like out now. You know, like there's more
yeah,
to it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it
exactly.
definitely 100% generated more streams because of all of that.
Yeah, yeah, and even if it costs more, and ultimately, like, your profit margins thinner because you've invested more to get
Right.
whatever back. Like, I don't really listen to Lady Gaga, but I love, was it Travis Brothers who made the artwork for that?
Yeah, Travis Brothers, Brian Rivera.
I think the Chromatica,
Yeah. Are you still there?
some other people. Yeah.
Oh.
Um, I was. Oh yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Am I
hear you.
still there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I think it's just lagging out again. But I was broke when that album came out, but I would probably buy that now just for the artwork, just
Yeah.
because I know who made it and stuff like it. But I wouldn't really listen to Lady Gaga, but
I,
I
I,
would
I
buy that.
I literally just started listening to her album, also because I found out that Chami produced like a couple of tracks on the album as well. Um, but
Right.
yeah, and like the merchandise and everything, it all added up, and it all just looked super cool. So yeah, and especially because I also know that
Yeah.
like Travis Brothers and Brian Rivera were like have been working on it, and you know, like it just comes together, and even as a non Lady Gaga fan, like you say, it makes you appreciate her more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, how you can separate yourself from, even so, like Obi and Japari, who are in the chat now. Maybe they've left, but if they're still there, like, when you look at their work, it's, unless it's personal work, it's not just one thing. And like, there's a lot of people that people really look up to on Instagram, like Obi and Japari, or like Dan Barkle,
Hmm.
or Travis Brothers, or whatever. And when you speak to those people, the ones that have given me advice or whatever, which I know Obi has, which I'm grateful for. But that's the kind of thing you hear, is that you can't just be the album art guy. Like, you want to be the person who does all of it, or at least is
Right.
involved with all of it. And a lot of small independent musicians, they don't think about that. Like, they're just waiting for a record label to pick all that up for them.
Yeah.
They'll just do Spotify until they get a deal, and then they'll wait for the label to make them do all that. But it's not even that expensive to just buy some prints or buy some t-shirts. That you can go to Awesome Merchandise, which is the company that made this. And, like, I think for the hats, they were expensive for the hats because they're embroidered, but you can buy like 100 t-shirts for, I don't, I'm not going to say because I'll get it wrong, but not very much. And if you're an
Yeah.
independent artist and you just want to sell something, it's a really good way to do it. And if you're a designer, you should pitch that because you'll get paid for the t-shirt design.
Yeah, definitely. And then and probably like they come back to you because you had like good ideas to promote the release as well.
Yeah, and that's why they'll come back to you because that's what I said about like using all your skills. If you use your skills like as a music fan, if you like you've bought merch. I'm wearing the Obi and Japari t-shirt. There's a Machine Drum LP. I don't know if it's in the camera on the crop, but
I can see it on Discord, like just the edge of it.
I can grab it if you want, but I bought that literally just because the guy who designed it used some assets from my store on the cover.
Right.
It's Vic from Instagram. His username is VICMXMB him. And I bought that just because it's got my assets in it somewhere. And there are people who will buy a SoundCloud producer with 5,000 followers. There are people who will buy that guy's CD and never listen to it, but they just bought it because like it's cool. They like the artist and stuff. And especially once you've bought something from someone, like you're more invested in them. I wouldn't have listened to that EP, that album, if I didn't buy that. But I listen to it like quite a lot now.
Yeah.
So if you get someone's money, they kind of party. All these people are hanging in my room now, like Obi and Japari, Polygon, Malavida, like they're all hanging in my room now. I look at them every single day. So even though I didn't spend that much on the print, I'm like invested. It's like I bought stock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool.
And you can get this across to your clients, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I know I'm rambling on, but that's kind of what.
This is like proper advice. This is actual proper advice. And I know you've been saying like, I'm just an idiot, so don't take anything. And I kind of like, I know what you mean by that. So you don't have to take everyone's word from on the internet, but you gave some solid advice today.
Yeah. I mean, some people like, it's because there are people on Instagram particularly who will just do it for the likes or whatever, or they'll just do it even though they have no idea what they're talking about. So I always say like that I'm a moron, I'm an idiot, or whatever I'm always saying, just because you shouldn't listen to me just because I said it. The same way you shouldn't listen to the big album art account that sells pre-made cover art in their bio, for example, shouldn't be listened to either. So yeah, just take everything with a pinch of salt, no matter who's telling you it. Definitely.
And with that out of the way, I think this is a good moment to say goodbye because it's very sunny outside, so I want to get a couple of sun rays because I haven't had any today, and we're gonna have dinner afterwards. Anyways, cool. Jack, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and talking to us today. I feel like it's been really like
no problem.
I definitely want to have you back at some point because I feel like I learned a lot from this as well, and it's just really fun.
I'm probably gonna come to Amsterdam.
Really?
Probably gonna come to Amsterdam when COVID and stuff is over because I love Amsterdam. I know my friend from Instagram, Smoking Gerb, lives there.
Oh yeah, he's just from Amsterdam.
I've got some other friends in Amsterdam. So I'll probably let you know when I'm there. I don't know if you're too far, but if you want to do a in real life podcast,
definitely,
we can do that.
I live like with the train, it's like an hour away or something. Not too far.
Yeah, I could. That's easy, isn't it? But yeah, obviously we've got to wait for COVID and vaccine, and then wait for it to be safe. But yeah, I'm definitely going to come back. So when I'm over there, I will let you know.
I'd love to. Also, if there's like Amsterdam dance event will be a thing again, like after COVID, we should definitely hang out there.
Yeah, I don't know when that is, but it always depends on when I'll go or what time of year or whatever. But I'm hoping to get vaccinated and go over and finally meet. And I know we're wrapping up, but like there's so many people I've met in the past year since I quit my job on Instagram that I would love to meet. Like even Harry just lives down south in Essex. Like I'd love to just go meet him. And Dan Barkle is opening a studio and he said, "Oh, come to my studio." And I was like, I'd love to, but I need to get vaccinated first. And it's really annoying. So yeah, I'm going to start ticking off some names of people, meeting people.
It must feel so good though. Like you have like this whole, you can look forward to all of those cool things, to the cool places to go. Yeah.
Yeah, if we get out of this mess with COVID, hopefully.
Or like in a few years, we'll be looking back from this. Like, remember when this was an issue? I hope. I hope. Let's cross our
Yeah,
fingers, man.
hopefully. I can't wait to never see a mask again. But yeah, I know you're trying to wrap it up, mate. So I'll shut up now and
All
let you
right.
wrap it up.
All right, guys. So with that being said, I just want to thank you guys for watching. If you want to have the project files for my tutorials or just want to support the channel, you can come become a patron. You can check out at Skintrest on Instagram and Album Art Archive, even though you probably already follow him. um, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was Tom and Jack from Dreadlabs and Album Archive tuning
Thanks,
out.
Tom.
We'll see you in the next live stream or podcast or wherever. Bye bye.
Oh, bye.
Oop.
Are we done?